Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Tech Motoring. On today's episode, we're going to be taking a look at this product here. This is the NEXPOW Tesla to J1772 charging adapter for your J1772 vehicles. So we're going to put this through the test today. We're going to see how well it works and we're going to see if it stands up to everything we throw at it. So we'll see if this is the adapter for you. Hit that subscribe button. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. All right, everybody, welcome back. So Paul here with another product review for you, another adapter review. And so this one was sent to us by NEXPOW. So they reached out to me and asked me to review this charging adapter. So this is if you're going from a Tesla charger to a J1772. So that's Tesla destination chargers, mobile chargers, basically anything level 2 or level 1 Tesla chargers to a J1772 vehicle. Not superchargers, so don't try that. But anyway, this is the NEXPOW Tesla J1772 adapter. We'll kind of go over it today, take a look at it, go over some of the pros and cons of it, get it charging on this vehicle, and then we're going to see if we have any issues while using this adapter. So we're going to go ahead, let's dive in and take a look. So this is the box that they send you it in, just basically says Tesla to J1772, compatible with all J1772 EVs. Max 60 amps. So this is a 60 amp maximum J1772 adapter. Now, as most of you may know, most EVs nowadays on the market max out at about 48 amps. The actual onboard charger of the vehicle is a 48 amp maximum. There are some vehicles now that have higher onboard chargers, up to 80 amps in certain cases. And so in those cases where if you're using, let's say, a vehicle with an 80 amp onboard charger, this is a 60 amp adapter. So now you only have to worry if you happen to come across a charger in the wild, let's say at a hotel or whatever, that outputs more than 60 amps. In this case, 60 amps, I believe on the market, 60 amps is the bare minimum adapter you should buy. Anything less than that, I wouldn't even bother, because it's always good to have a little bit more headroom when it comes to charging. So you want something that's going to be a little bit more robustly built and can take more than 60 amps. So for instance, if you get, like, let's say a 48 amp adapter, because you have a 48 amp onboard charger, if that thing is not built properly for even 48 amps, then you might have an issue. Whereas if you get a 60 amp adapter, you know you're going to have some extra space between 48 and 60 amps, and you should be a lot safer using a little bit more robust adapter. So really cool. We'll open this up in a second. 250 volts is pretty standard. 60 amps, like we said before. Minus 30 Celsius to 50 degrees Celsius. So it was negative 22 Fahrenheit to 122 degrees Fahrenheit. Very typical for most EV charging equipment, especially these adapters. So that's pretty standard. So that's pretty much what it shows on the outside of the box. Let's open it up, take a look at what we got on the inside. So we have the charging instructions here, which is pretty much just very basic, just tells you about the adapter. One side's Tesla, one side's J1772. Does not work in superchargers. It gives you a list of a bunch of vehicles that it's compatible with, which is pretty much anything with the J1772, whether it be an EV or a hybrid. It should work perfectly fine in either of those. And the one thing I want to bring up is that this is IP65 rated. So the weatherproofing is IP65, which means it's really, really good for any type of solid dirt and debris to get into the adapter. So from that standpoint, it's very, very good. The 5 rating, so the 65, the 5 in that, is for water intrusion, and it's a 5 rating, so it means you could use this out in the rain, the weather. The only time I would be a little bit skeptical is if you're going to use this out in like really heavy torrential downpours. It should be perfectly fine, but I wouldn't obviously want to keep it outside for very long if it's really torrential downpours anyway, just because charging your car outside, especially with an adapter, could be a little weird, especially if you're using this outside in some major weather. So that's the only thing I would recommend, is that if you're going to use this outside, maybe only use it if it's a slight rain, but if it's going to be really, really heavy rain, like wind-driven rain into the adapter here, maybe better to charge the car at some other time. If you're going to be using this in your garage, obviously no concerns there. And of course, if you're going to be using this like temporarily at a hotel overnight, If you're only going to be using it occasionally, then I don't see it there being an issue. But over time, things will start to wear out, and there's a better chance of water intrusion into this. But I think an IP65 rating is very good for adapters, so this is a good thing to see on this adapter. A couple things they go over in the instruction manual as well. Ensure that the output is less than 60 amps. So if you go to a charger that has an output of more than 60 amps, I know it's not like they listed on the charger how much the output is, but usually you could tell on PlugShare what the output of that charger is. Once again, if your car can only take 48 amps, then your car is only going to take 48 amps from the charger. So once again, with this being a 60 amp capable adapter, you should have no issues out in the wild. And if you do own a car that has an 80 amp onboard charger, I would recommend looking at getting an 80 amp adapter, just in case you happen to come across some really old school Tesla destination charger that can output 80 amps, because some of those original ones actually can do that. So you might want to look out for those. Allow up to 30 seconds to pass after connecting the adapter to the Tesla charger before connecting the other end. So basically you want to plug the Tesla charging handle into the adapter first and then plug it into your car. It says wait about 30 seconds, usually about 5 to 10 seconds is more than enough. And yeah, that's pretty much it, is just making sure that it's plugged in before you plug it into your car. And yeah, there you go. Pretty much it's all you need to know. So let's go ahead and look at the physical adapter here and see what we get as far as some features. Here on this side, we could see we have the Tesla end. The pins are really nice. Let's go ahead. I like to do this test where I move around some of the pins just to see if they're in good shape. And yep, looks like they're pretty good, pretty solid, not really moving at all. The plastic piece in the middle, I always try to move that as well, because that is a guide for the Tesla handle to use as a way to line up the pins. So we want to make sure that that plastic is solid as well. Feels pretty good. We have this locking mechanism here that locks the Tesla handle to the actual adapter unit. Now these I like to test because I like to see if we can get the Tesla handle to pull out without lifting on this mechanism here. So we're going to test that in a little bit as well. On the other side, the J1772 side, we have the standard latching mechanism that latches to your vehicle. We get a nice, good, solid clicking action here from that. It feels pretty solid. The thing I really do like about this is it's got the actual mechanism arm here is actually underneath the plastic of the adapter. I really like to see that, because that means that that is going to be protected if you were to, let's say, drop the adapter on the ground on this side. You know that this is protected from that. So that's good to see that they built that and integrated that into the actual charging adapter. Awesome to see. So we get a really nice clicking action here. Obviously there's a safety cutoff that we're going to test as well. So when you push down on this button, it will disconnect the charge from the vehicle. So this way the car will stop charging the second you push down on this button. Really nice to see. You'll also notice that there is a hole right here in this area. So this hole is so you could put a padlock or something through to secure this to the vehicle. So let's just say you're charging this car at like a hotel or something overnight, and you're going to be, leaving the car unattended for multiple hours. You might want to put a padlock in there, because this will lock your adapter to the car. So this will prevent somebody from two things. Number one, stopping the charge of the vehicle by pushing down on this button, and it'll stop them from stealing the adapter out of your car. So that's another nice feature I like to see, is a padlock here. Some adapters put a padlock on this side as well to stop people from stealing the actual Tesla plug out of the adapter. In this case, it does not have that, so somebody could potentially steal the Tesla charging handle out of this, but they couldn't steal this adapter out of your car if you were to put a padlock on the end of this here. So once again, if that's something you're interested in, then that might be a feature that sells this to you. Of course, if you're going to be charging this in your garage, you're probably not too concerned about somebody stealing this adapter. You probably never use that padlock feature, but it is there in the event that you need it. So really nice to see. All right, so that's pretty much the adapter in its physical shape there, in physical form. Speaking of physical form, it's actually a pretty standard sized adapter. It's not really small, but it's also not really big. It's pretty much the standard of what you see on the market as far as, adapter sizes here. So you would hold it like this, plug it into your car. The thumb button there is in a good location for you to grab that. And so, yeah, there we go. So now what we're going to do is we're going to get this plugged into this Ford Mustang Mach-E, which has a 48 amp onboard charger. And we actually just recently added a 48 amp Tesla level 2 charger in the garage. So we're going to max out the car. We're going to max out our charger. And this adapter, once again, is up to 60 amps. So we should not be getting close to what this adapter can handle. But this is the maximum I could put through this adapter to test it. So we'll see how well it holds up over the course of that. If you followed these adapter videos in the past, you'll notice that I usually just used a 32 amp charger through this. So we're going to bump that up a little bit today in future videos as well. And we're also going to be doing this for now 3 hours. So we're going to run 3 hours of charging through these adapters to test them thoroughly moving forward. And so today's the first day that we're going to do that. And we're going to take temperatures of the adapter before and also after the charging session, or towards the end of the charging session, to see if we see any weirdness with temperature spikes on this adapter, around the casing, around the Tesla end on this side. So we're going to see if we come across any weirdness with that as well. So let's grab the charging handle and put this to the test. All right, now one of the tests I like to do before we get it plugged into the car is the charging handle to the adapter, to see how this feels, number one, but also see how well it secures into the adapter. Now, a good adapter will prevent me from pulling this out without pushing on this release mechanism, which means that if I plug this into the adapter, I should not be able to pull the charging handle out unless I push this button in. So let's go ahead and give this a shot real quick. Let's see how it is going in before I even push on the button. Okay, so it's a little tight, a little resistance going in unless you push up on this button, which is a good sign. So what we're going to do is we're going to push on the red button there. We're going to put the charging handle in, like so. Felt really good going in, no weirdness there. And now we can see that it's locked in. Ooh, that's locked in real good, actually. So that's really good. So now we're going to do the tug test, is what I'm going to start calling this. And what we're going to do is we're going to tug on this really hard, and we're going to see if we can actually pull the Tesla handle out of the adapter. It should not come out if it's designed well. Ooh. All right, let's see. Okay, so I'm able to pull out the charging handle from the adapter, and I don't like to see that. So, and here's the reason why, is that if somebody's charging the car, if you're charging your car with this setup here, right? And you have somebody that walks by the car, maybe they step on the cord, or maybe that they are just going to be, you know, silly and they're going to yank on the Tesla handle. You don't want that to happen, because if you have 48 amps of energy going across this into this adapter, when you yank these apart, you are cutting that power immediately, and you can possibly cause an arcing between the adapter and the handle, and that could be causing some issues. So that is a little bit concerning. I don't like that part of it. Now, if this is not a concern to you because let's say you're just using it in the garage, then really not a big deal. But as you can see here, I'm going to do it again. My hand's not going to be close to that red button, right? I'm able to pull it out, no problem. Actually, it's very little resistance to take it out. So that being said, that's a little bit of a kind of thing. But let's go ahead, let's get it plugged into the car and see how well it charges. All right, everybody, well, now we are at the charging test for the NEXPOW Tesla to J1772 adapter. And of course, if you're interested in this adapter, make sure you take a look down in the description below. Down there, you'll see a link to where you can take a closer look at this adapter and see if it's the right one for you. So at this point, we are ready to do the charging test. So what we're going to do is we're going to be plugging it into the Mustang Mach-E here. For 3 hours, we're going to put it through a test. So we're going to plug this in now. We're going to see the process of it starting to charge. We have our temperature gun here, which we're going to take a temperature of the charging handle before we start the process, and also after we're done after 3 hours, and see how well it charges, and also see how the temperature is, just to get an idea of, is it out of range of temperature, or is there any concerns with that temperature? So we're going to go ahead and get this plugged in right now, and we'll see how this goes. So let's go ahead and start with the plug test and see how well it feels plugging into the car. It should start charging pretty quickly after that. Okay, Really nice insertion into the vehicle. Did not have much resistance, but it felt like it was nice and snug going in. So really nice there. It has now just started charging, so what was that, maybe 5 or 6 seconds. We can see the lights here are blinking to let us know that the charging session has started. And let's just go ahead and take some temperatures before it warms up. So it's about mid to high 50s outside right now. So we're gonna go ahead and take some temperatures right now. It might be a little warmer than that because I was holding it. So temperatures might be a little bit on the higher side. So right now, yeah, so it's about 64. There's about 64 as well. And 64 there. Let's get down here. Yep, 66, because I was holding it there. 67. Okay, so we're looking around 64, 65 is basically the temperature that this is at the moment. So 3 hours from now, let me mark my time here. All right, so 3 hours to charge. We're going to come back out. We're going to take a look at the adapter, make sure the car is still charging properly after those 3 hours, and we'll also take some temperatures when we get there. All right, so stay tuned. We'll be right back. All right, everybody. Well, you join me back down in the garage now with our 3 hour mark of charging through this adapter. So just to recap, we have our Tesla wall connector here plugged into our adapter. We are charging this vehicle at 48 amps, which is the maximum capacity that the car can handle and what the charger can output. And this is a 60 amp rated adapter. So let's go ahead, let's take some temperatures. So before we were seeing about 65, 66 degrees on the adapter. That was roughly the ambient air temperature. I was also holding it for a little bit, which might have bumped it up a few degrees as well. Ambient temperature has lowered outside a little bit since you can see it's now dark outside. And so what we're going to do here is we're just going to take some shots of this with the infrared gun here and see what we get as far as temperatures, see if anything is a little bit too hot. So we have 81 degrees up here. It's really cool up there, but that's by the clip, about 72 up there. About 80 degrees there. Let's get down here. It's actually kind of cool down there, about 72. Same on that side. Let's come down the handle a little bit. Wow, really cold there, about 66. That's 73. Yeah, really cold in the middle, actually. It's only about high 60s there. Yeah, it is pretty cool. So let's get down here. This is where I'm really curious. 80, 81, 76. Yeah, so really not bad temperatures. And just to kind of give you an idea, the handle here, yeah, the handle's about 85 degrees. So as you can see, we got some pretty good temperatures, about 82 on this side of the handle. So yeah, as you can see, we got some pretty warm temperatures here, but honestly, the adapter seems to be pretty good. Let's give it a quick touch test just to make sure everything feels good. Yep, no warm spots, no hot spots on it. Yep. Feels pretty good, not warm at all. All right, and the last thing we want to check before we end this video here is to make sure that this disconnect works properly. So when we push down on this button, we should see a disconnect of power going to the vehicle, and then we should also be able to pull this out without there being any issues. So let's go ahead and try that. Pushing down. All right, disconnect from vehicle. Let's go ahead and pull out now. Ooh, really good. Really nice connector, really good going into the port. Feels real nice. Taking a look real quick, just getting a little feel. Nope, not bad at all. All right, everybody, well, there you go. There is the NEXPOW Tesla 2J1772 charging adapter for your J1772 vehicles like this Mustang Mach-E here. So as we have shown, we were able to successfully test this Ford Mustang Mach-E at the full capacity of the car's charging capabilities for 3 straight hours. All the temperatures seem to be in line. No concerns there as far as temperatures go. I believe the design of this is pretty good. I really like this mechanical interface here of the adapter where it hides a good chunk of this arm underneath the plastic, which is good for protecting it. The locking mechanism here, so you could put like a padlock through there. I always think that's a good idea. Some people like that idea. Some people utilize that quite a bit. Keeps the adapter safe and locked to your car in the event that somebody wants to steal your charging session or whatnot. So the only miss I have with this was the locking mechanism on the Tesla side, where you can put the charging handle inside of this adapter, but you are able to easily pull it out of the adapter. That was the only miss I see with this adapter. I really wish they could have maybe tightened up that locking mechanism there, so this way it didn't get easily pulled out. You don't want somebody to step on the cable and yank out the Tesla cable. You don't want somebody to just, you know, pull it out on purpose or by mistake for any reason. It is really a safety reason for that function to work properly. But other than that, if you're not really worried about any of that stuff, if you're going to use this in your garage, I think it's a fantastic adapter for that. And once again, 60 amp capability, which is more than a lot of vehicles nowadays can have with their onboard chargers. 48 amp, for example, in this one. Most cars are 48 amp. So I think this will work really well. And once again, if you're interested in this product, take a look down in the description below. You'll see a link right there where it will take you right to this product to see if this is the right adapter for you. I'd like to thank NEXPOW for sending me out this adapter for review, and I'd like to thank all of you for watching today's episode. If this video helps you out, make sure you give it a thumbs up just below. And of course, if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button as well. I'd like to thank everybody for watching again today's episode, and we'll see you on the next product review. And remember, welcome to the future. Welcome to Tech Motoring. We'll see you soon.